Joining us right now from Washington is criminal profiler Pat Brown. Pat, good morning to you.
Good morning, Maggie.
In your experience, from what you've heard, do you believe this mystery woman exists?
I believe this story is the biggest bunch of bull I've ever heard. I'm sorry. It is. It doesn't make a darn bit of sense. We're talking about a man who he wants the children to go back to the mother, so he supposedly can commit suicide. Why does he simply drive the children over there and drop the children himself?
Right.
Why does he have his mother do it? Why does he call some stranger? And oh, by the way, he can't even give the police the woman's address or phone number. He does. They have no idea how he even contacted her. You know, he has no record on his cell phone. He has no record on his internet. It's a bogus story.
And what's very interesting is I know you read into the spelling of the mystery woman's name. What does that tell you?
Well, it's curious. I mean, if I'm reading correctly, that this is the spelling he gave to the police. He said Joanne, Joann, without an E. His mother's name is Roxanne, Roxann, which is fascinating because a lot of times you're trying to come up with a phony name, you will pick something close to what you already know. So it's hard to come up with something completely unknown to you. So you say, okay, let me think. Oh, I know a guy named Joe. Oh, like a Joanne, like my mother's name, Roxanne.
Very
so
interesting.
I think he just made up the names, and that suicide attempt, don't buy that one either. How do you fail to hang yourself? Almost everybody who tries to do that can do it successfully. I think that's he's pretending to be insane. So that's just his defense and starting to set up there.
So what do you think happened to the boys?
Well, it's a horrifying thought, but sometimes in these divorce situations, if you have a person with a personality disorder, he thinks, I'm not going to accept this divorce. I'm not going to let you have the kids. She had full custody. She's not going to get them back. If I can't have them, she can't have them. So I think the police think this is not going to turn out well, but they're doing everything they can just in case, because they're hoping they're wrong, that these children are out there someplace, and so they're going to look for them.
But if the father did have something to do with their disappearance, the case against him is not good, because when you look at that Facebook message that he sent the day before, doesn't that speak to premeditation?
It does speak to premeditation, but they need to find those boys or some evidence that he did something. We've seen this before with, remember the Zanny the Nanny with Kaylee Anthony? She claimed that this woman ran off with their kids. Yeah. Luckily, they've been able to find little Kaylee, so Casey's in prison going to trial. But we have people who will say somebody else took their kid, and if you can't prove somebody else didn't take their kid and that they didn't do something to them, you have to have that physical proof. So that's what he may be hoping they're not going to find, and the police are hoping they will.
All right, Pat Brown, as always, thanks so much, Pat.
Thanks, Maggie.